Well, folks, hope you survived the end-of-month fireworks without too many bruises, as stocks wrapped February with a decisive sell-off after that hotter-than-expected PPI print caught everyone off guard this morning. The Dow led the losers with over a 500-point drop. Small caps confirmed a nasty bearish reversal, and defensives like utilities and metals stepped up big. But what's most concerning to us is how XLF closed on its weekly chart. We're going to break this all down and get into what we're seeing. But real quick before we do, if you're new here, welcome to today's stock market summary. And please note that none of this is buying or selling advice. We're just calling what we see happening in the charts as things develop.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough way to end the month for sure. Technically speaking, I mean, the damage is pretty significant across the board.
Oh, absolutely.
You look at the Dow, it closed right below its 50-day moving average. And over on the NASDAQ, the QQQ slipped back below its 20-day line.
Yeah, I was watching the SPY, and it gapped down really hard right at the open. It looks like it managed to stay inside that rising wedge pattern we've been tracking, but man, the price action just felt so heavy.
Very heavy. And we're actually seeing a symmetrical triangle forming on the SPY right now, which is basically
like a coiling spring, right?
Exactly. The market is compressing. It's getting ready for a big move. But the real danger is that both the wedge and the triangle share the exact same support line. So if that breaks, the floor just falls out.
Speaking of floors falling out, we really have to talk about small caps. I mentioned yesterday that the IWM looked like it was breaking out, but today it just completely gave those gains back.
Yeah, that was brutal. Traders call that a bearish death hook.
A death hook? Ouch.
Right. Essentially, the market lured buyers in with that fake breakout yesterday, only to just slam the door on them today. Now everyone who bought that breakout is trapped underwater.
Just a classic failed move.
It is. And it puts the bears firmly in control of small caps, unless the bulls step up immediately.
But then there's the financials, right? The XLF. Because you mentioned this was the one that really had you worried.
It is. The XLF actually closed below a rising wedge pattern, and crucially, this happened on the weekly chart. This is our canary in the coal mine.
Because banks essentially fuel the economy.
Precisely. If the smart money is pulling the plug on financials, they're effectively pricing in a credit contraction. If the banks stall out, they just anchor the entire market down with them.
Okay, so if money was fleeing banks and small caps today, where did it go? Because I noticed utilities and healthcare were actually green.
Right, that's classic defensive rotation. Investors were hiding in safe stocks, so we saw XLV breaking out, XLU rallying, and even transports like ODFL rallying from consolidation. But honestly, the most interesting signal came from the bond market.
Oh, right. Yields actually dropped today. The 2-year all the way through the 20-year, they broke lower.
Which is a massive anomaly.
Because normally you get hot inflation news, yields spike up.
Right. But today, they dropped. That tells us the fear of a market crash is currently outweighing the fear of inflation. Investors were so scared of the equity sell-off, they just panic bought bonds for safety.
And the spark for all that panic was the PPI data this morning.
It was way hotter than anyone wanted. Headline inflation rose 0.5% against a forecast of just 0.3%, and core PPI jumped 0.8%.
Wow.
Yeah, this totally kills the soft landing dream for now. It reinforces that sticky inflation narrative, which means the Fed is basically sidelined on rate cuts. They can't cut rates to save the market without risking a price spiral.
Before we look at how crypto and metals handled all this news, hey, don't forget, if you've got a stock you're watching or a question about the markets, let us know in the comments. We want to know what you're tracking to make these videos more relevant if possible, and we'll do our best to talk about what we see in a future episode. And as always, drop a like if you appreciate these market summaries and click subscribe too so you can stay updated.
So looking at the risk assets, Bitcoin really couldn't escape the mood. It's down about 2.6%, just flagging sideways without a decisive break.
But gold and silver were having a field day. Gold was up over 1% and silver surged, over 5%?
5.6%, yeah. That's the flip side of the fear trade. Gold and silver are acting as the ultimate safe haven plays right now.
Days like today, with failed breakouts, inflation surprises, sector rotations, it feels like an absolute minefield if you're out there just guessing.
Oh, without a doubt. And that's why we always say ironclad risk management is simply non-negotiable. You can't rely on gut feelings when the VIX is spiking. You need stop losses. You need a system that tells you when to sit on your hands and how to avoid emotional exits before a small loss turns into a disaster.
Absolutely. And for those listening who want to stop guessing, Grok Trade's mentorship program covers this in depth. There's more where that came from in the program. It's structured coaching and technical mastery, designed to help you navigate exactly these kinds of volatile conditions.
It really gives you that calm confidence. It's about removing the emotion from the equation so you can trade what you actually see, not what you hope for.
Spot on. Well, we'll see if the bulls can reclaim control next week or if that bear hook drags us lower. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe and tune in next week as we continue to cover the markets and the developments we've mentioned.